Hey guys, Andrew, Brandon, Dave, thanks a lot for joining us tonight.
Of course, happy to be here.
Hey Brandon. Yeah, I'm just trying to make sense of your nicknames just to make sure that I'm not gonna mess up your names. Can everyone hear us all right?
Yeah, hi, it's Dave here. I'm
Hi
running
Dave.
hands.
I actually don't know how to pronounce my name, but I'm Brendan. I think it's
Brandon.
Burdu. It's the
Yeah,
first. It's the first two letters
Brandon.
of my first name and the first two letters of my last. Yeah.
Yeah, Brandon will work for us. I think yours is the closest that it comes to your actual name, right? So
Yes.
pretty
Yes, for
sure
sure.
I'm not gonna mess that one up. Andrew, can you hear us all right?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Great.
cool. Well, I think we have like quite a few people still joining. Let's give you another like 2 minutes, guys, and we can start this awesome EMA that our community has expected, like big time, right? Probably is one of the most anticipated EMAs that we had on our Discord group. We are always also streaming this to our YouTube channel. We don't really do that. This is a first, so we are going to, after this EMA, the after the call, the EMA will be available on YouTube as well for people who have missed it live. They can always check it there as well. Yeah, again, thanks a lot for joining us, guys. We know that you're like very busy people. It's like quite a lot going on with Myria right now. So let's give you another like 1 minute and we can start digging into those questions.
Sounds good.
Actually, like while people are still joining the call, do you want to give a quick a quick presentation of yourselves? What are your positions with the project? What have you been doing maybe prior to Myria as well? I think that would be a good start for people who haven't done their due diligence. We did, but it would be good for you to present yourself as well.
Sure. Shall I
Yes.
start?
Yeah,
Go ahead, Dave.
you start.
Okay,
You
cool.
go, Brendan.
Great. So I am Brendan Duhamel. I'm a co-founder and the head of blockchain at Myria. I have been doing blockchain in some form or another for a decade now. I started in Bitcoin in 2012 and had a Bitcoin payments, actually Bitcoin smart contract. No, that's not a oxymoron. You can do some small smart contracts in Bitcoin. So I had a Bitcoin smart contracts payment startup in 2013 timeframe, and then drifted into the enterprise blockchain space and was the blockchain lead for the largest trade finance network, blockchain trade finance network in the world in London. And then I got the crypto itch while I was doing that, and moved back into crypto about call it 16 months ago now, fully into crypto, and started a crypto ETF, and then was lucky enough to meet up with the rest of the founding team at Myria, and have been working on this for about 7 months. So that's me.
Thanks a lot, Brandon. Dave,
Oh,
do
okay.
you want to go next?
Yeah. I'll go next. Hi, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm joining you from Australia today. So my name's Dave Malcolm. I'm the CMO at Myria. My background is was fortunate enough to be one of the heads of marketing and PR at Rockstar Games back in the day. So I've worked extensively in marketing and presenting mass market AAA productions to the world. I worked on every game from Manhunt 2 on the PlayStation 2 to GTA 5 online and everything in between. So a massive fan of traditional gaming and can't wait really to bring a lot of those audiences into the exciting world of blockchain gaming. Also got extensive knowledge in e-commerce. I founded a business in Australia, which listed on the ASX, called Marley Spoon. And then also sort of got the crypto itch and joined a company called Banksa, where I was working as CMO. They're a fiat on-ramp. So I have quite a lot of experience working with SEXs, DEXs, and layer 2 solutions. And then, of course, joined the fantastic team at Myria. So very pleased to be here and excited to tell you more about what we're doing. So thank you. Over to you, Andrew.
Great, thanks a lot. So my name is Andrew Silber, and I am the CTO here at Myria. And I have been in the games industry for 27 years now. I've worked at a bunch of big companies. Started my career at Activision, and then I was at Electronic Arts and Sony and 2K and Ubisoft most recently. And I also was involved in a startup which got acquired. And I've just been a gaming nerd and a tech nerd ever since I can remember. I saved up and bought myself an Atari 400 back in 1979. Taught myself to code, and then got into the BBS space because I was just super interested in people communicating and community and online interaction. And so now that the gaming space has evolved into the Web3, I'm just exploding with excitement for it. And so, when this opportunity came up, then I couldn't wait to come on board.
Thanks a lot, guys. I think one of the most exciting things, right, about Myria is like the quality of the team that you've managed to ensemble. So like heads off to you, right? I think something that we are missing from blockchain these days, right, is like quality of everything, right? It's like quality of developers, quality of pretty much any roles, right? I think quality people still tend to stick with traditional companies rather than jump ship and come to blockchain development technologies and stuff like that. So we are definitely really impressed with the quality that Myria has managed to put together in terms of its team so far. And I know that this is only the beginning, right?
Definitely.
Awesome. Right. Thanks a lot again for the presentation. I'm going to jump straight in because we have like a million questions and we are going to try to address as many as possible. Obviously, probably we will miss on a few, but like I've said, we will try to address as many questions from ourselves and the community. So I'll jump straight into it. The first question that we have for the team is we know that Myria is quite a bit different comparing to Gala games, right? But could you please explain for our community and everyone who will be watching this stream live on YouTube in a few words, what makes Myria different? Because a lot of people right now, they are kind of like comparing Myria with Gala. Like I've said to you, we've done our due diligence and we know Myria is like quite a bit different, but it will be good to like actually hear it from the team.
Yeah, sure. It's a great question. So I'll answer this a bit, and then the guys can add to anything else that I've missed.
Dave.
But I think obviously, firstly, we want to just say that what Gala's doing is fantastic, and growing the space, building the category. So it's really exciting to see what they're doing. So while at first there's a few similarities at first glance that you'll find that actually Myria is pretty different to Gala. So from an infrastructure perspective, Myria is an Ethereum layer 2, which means that we're leveraging the security on the Ethereum blockchain, whilst Gala is its own layer 1. So I'm sure we've all seen the recent Ronin hack, and we understand the potential risk and vulnerabilities of building a new layer 1. It's also the advantage of building on a layer 2 that means that NFT trading is pretty much zero gas fee on Myria. So that's obviously a huge advantage. From a gamer perspective, there's a couple of things that differentiate us. We're looking to build AAA quality games. So I would encourage everyone to jump onto Myria.com and keep up with us. And you can see that the titles that we're bringing to the table under the Myria Studios umbrella. Another point is that we hope to be the first in the space to be creating interoperable NFTs. So if you're not sure what that means, That means that the NFTs that we create with Myria Studios will be completely interoperable and interlinked between the games. So, for example, if you have a skin or an asset, more information to come on the exact details of this in one game, you can bring that into another game. And of course, what this means is, apart from being like super cool, and quite an exciting feature, but it adds a huge amount of utility across the Myriaverse, and it's a lot more fun and value for NFT owners and gamers. Another thing from the gamer perspective is that we're building out a kind of a Steam-like experience, if you will, where gamers can access the favorite games in our Myria game launcher. And then I think finally, this is probably more of a Brendan Andrew topic, but we're building this permissionless open platform where anyone can use our tools and our platform to build out their own games. So we're working extensively with partners in the space. And of course, Gala games are all sort of selected and internally developed. So those are a few of the differences. I hope that answers your question.
It does indeed, Dave. So for all these people who will want to develop on Myria, they don't need to meet any sorts of like requirements. Will anyone be able to build something on your platform? How will it work?
Yes, for sure.
A question for Brendan. Yeah,
yeah. All right, I want to make sure you want to hand it off, Dave. Yes, absolutely. That's the idea, is that the tools that we'll be developing to make it much easier for developers to interact with these sort of cutting edge solutions that we're working with, those will be available to anybody that anybody and everybody. We want to encourage developer activity as much as possible.
Nice one. That's pretty cool. Another question for you, Brandon, while I have your attention, is a lot of people are asking about SDK rollups, right? And I'm pretty sure that quite a lot of people, they don't even know what they are, right? If you can give a few words on that, and what do you think will be the biggest challenge that Myria will have in integrating those ones into the platform? That would be great.
Yeah, absolutely. So a ZK rollup, in short, is a way to execute transactions off chain in batches, right? And then batches back to the L1. So this means that your assets are never isolated in an independent blockchain. You don't have to bridge back and forth in the traditional sense that you rely on sort of potentially trustworthy actors to bring your assets between networks, as long as the proof is valid, and those proofs can only be valid if the transactions themselves are valid and if the cryptography can be verified. So that's an important bit. So I don't want to get more into the technical weeds than that, but obviously batching transactions is what allows us to have the immense scalability which rollups provide. As far as the main challenge, though, I in fact don't think there's so much work being done in this space in terms of the actual solutions that I don't think the biggest challenge we'll face is technical, or at least not technical at a protocol level. The biggest challenge we'll face is working with our community to make sure that it's as easy as possible to interact with it, right? So that includes both the end users. How do you get your assets from Ethereum onto our chain? How do you get assets from our chain back onto Ethereum? We want that process to be incredibly smooth. And then likewise for developers, you shouldn't have to learn an entirely new language. When you might just have learned Solidity, and now you're being asked to learn something else. That's not what we want. We want, as long as you're clear about the outcome of what you want on our chain, then you should be able to use our developer tools with relative ease. So I think that's the challenge, but we have some pretty exciting ways that we're trying to address that challenge and make it easy for users and developers.
Nice one. And this will be all offered by the SDK that you'll make available for developers, right? So they don't need to worry about all this stuff. They just basically get to do what they enjoy, and Myria as a platform does all the hard work, right? For them basically to
Yeah,
integrate
that's
with
exactly right.
blockchain.
SDK, yeah, multiple SDKs. Yeah, we'll have SDKs which support a variety of languages and
Nice.
tool sets. So yeah, we're not going to be catering for just one particular developer. It'll be a broad spectrum.
Awesome. That's really good to hear. I have another question. Probably this will be a good one for Andrew, right? But we've been stalking Myria for quite a while on LinkedIn, right? And we've seen the team kept on growing, and we've seen, like I've said at the beginning of this call, the quality of the people that you are bringing over. And I was just wondering, like, how hard was it to tempt quality devs and I don't know, like quality people that you got to join your project. How hard was it to tempt them to join from like traditional companies to like blockchain tech companies? Because like I've said to you, I think that's a struggle for a lot of blockchain projects right now.
That's a great question. Thanks. So, you might actually be tempted to. I'd like for us to, take credit for having just such charming personalities that we can win people over. But in fact, a lot of the allure has to do with just the excitement and the value proposition that Web3 brings to gaming in general. And so, in some ways, it really speaks to itself. Speaks for itself. When I've met with many, many people, and when I talk to them about our vision for Web3 and for Myria, I can tell that, they're, just in their reactions that they're, yeah, I thought the same thing too. And boy, I really, I have had the same ideas. And so, to be honest, it has not really been that much of a sales job.
Nice.
This, yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, when you have an amazing project, right, I think good people will follow, right? Because they will get excited about what the project will be able to achieve, like in the future, right? Um, so yeah, I was just wondering if for Myria it was a struggle to get these people on, but obviously it wasn't that big of a struggle, which is like good to hear.
Yeah.
In terms of the growth of the development team, what's the plan for the coming months? And do you have any like high profiles that you are planning to bring to the team that maybe you can share some details on? I understand if you can't, but it would be really good, I think, and everybody would love if you could.
Sure. So, our growth has been, to use an overused word, exponential. We have been growing at an extremely high rate. We have about 100 internal devs now. 100 internal employees now, of whom a full 50% are developers.
Yeah.
And that's not including our external partners. So if you include them, then we're probably looking at about 150 developers already. But we're aiming for north of 300 by the end of the year. In terms of high-profile names, I'm afraid I can't disclose anything right at this
Yeah,
moment.
I
But
was kind of like expecting this answer, Andrew, but
yeah,
I've tried my luck, right?
but I can tell you that we are talking to the best of the best, and working with just really the best in class people from the gaming industry and also the blockchain industry. So yeah,
Amazing.
we're very excited. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what we like to hear. Like I've said to you, I was just trying my luck there for a second, but it's good to hear that the team. I know because I've been talking to the Myria team before, right? And I know what the plans are, and I know you are growing the team at a very fast rate, and saying that you still don't compromise on the quality of people that you bring on board, which is like really good to see, right? Because some people will just, I mean, like not some people, but some projects will just feel they will just make numbers, right? But maybe the quality of the people that they are bringing in is not that good, which is not great because you might have like 100 people, but if they have like zero experience, which you've seen with so many projects before, right? I mean, you have like 20 devs, but they've never worked on anything before, right? It's their first basically project that they are working on. It's not great. I'm not saying that you can't deliver a good project, but experience definitely counts, right?
Absolutely. For us, this is not our first rodeo, and
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Awesome. Regarding the marketing strategy, can you share some details on that, Dave? And what sort of budgets are you looking? This is a question from a member of our community. But what sort of budgets are you looking to allocate towards that?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, to be honest, like, we don't really want to discuss the details of the finances and the budgets, but
Yeah.
needless to say, that's fine. But needless to say, the budgets will match our ambition in terms of everything else we're trying to achieve. So expect to see a lot of Myria. What I will say from a sort of a tactics perspective is that, obviously, like I mentioned at the start of the call, we want to engage a mass market of people towards our projects, but it all starts first here really with the community. So we're doing a lot of outreach. We'll be doing a lot of work with KOLs. We obviously want to release specific content around the individual game titles. So, all the traditional things that you'd expect to see around, screens, video content, sneak peeks. It's very important for us at this stage, as we come out of stealth mode, to really just tell people what we're doing, build our community. And so that's what we're really focused on right now. And then as we progress, and in the very near future, we'll start doing some more sort of brand orientated stuff to make sure that we sort of drive this awareness out to the market. So, like I said, there's a couple of different groups of people. We obviously want to work and promote the games into the sort of play to earn space, but we also want to bridge people from the sort of traditional gaming world into our world as well. So you'll see activity around all of those things. Hopefully that clears that up.
Yeah, definitely does, Dave. And that sounds like a very good plan. Right. Regarding a private cell token, another question from our community: Will there be a private cell token in the future?
Yeah, it's another good question. I think as it relates to how our token ends up getting to market, that's something we'll be working on in the coming months. But most importantly, we'll be working with our community on it. So we obviously have a token. I'll speak more to the token economics in a bit. But
Yeah.
as for whether there will be a private sale or whether we're launching with this provider or that one, that's something that we're actively working on now, and we'll have more clarity on within the coming months.
Got it, Brendan. And also, like, while we are at the token kind of like questions, the nodes that will be made available at public rounds, will those ones, will you be able to buy those ones with Myria token, or will you need a different, I don't know, Ethereum or a different token in order to be able to buy nodes at public sale? Because this is something, again, that's one of our members was asking. What will you need in order to be able to buy nodes licenses at public sale?
Yeah, absolutely. Another good question. So, our objective obviously is always to increase the utility of the Myria token. And so one of the most obvious ways to do that is to sell our nodes, which is a big part of the building of the ecosystem with Myria. So absolutely, you'll be able to pay for nodes with the Myria token.
Nice one. Another question from our community is: with the current market condition, we see often a lot of dump and FUD on projects. I don't really know like how a good question, a good answer will look to this question, but how would the team approach this? obviously, like dumps, I don't want to answer the question for you, but dumps, you can't really force people not to sell, right? But I think with Myria it's different because the nodes that you are buying, you can't really dump those ones, right? So you can't really dump the price of the token. But I'll leave the team answer that question.
Yeah, I think just at a high level, I think what we're aiming to do is to drive a lot of engagement and utility of our token.
Yeah.
And so, obviously, you can't predict the sort of macro market situation, but by providing a lot of utility across the Myria ecosystem through, in-game trading, Myria-verse land purchases, staking, obviously holding the tokens can bring more in-game benefits. So there's a lot of utility, and I think that will provide a sort of a more robust environment.
And regarding Dave, regarding when this utility will come, will some of this utility be available at when Myria would launch, or like what's the roadmap in terms of like the utility of the token? Will we have something available right at the start and other features will come later, or nothing will be available at the start and then features will come as we go?
Yeah, so obviously the roadmap details will be coming soon, but our ambition is to have playable games very soon after the token launch. So obviously we've been building in stealth for a long time, and the idea is to bring all these things to market at the same time. But the exact details of that will follow, and maybe Brendan or Andrew can add some more color to that answer.
Yeah, sure. So definitely there will be utility at MVP launch, right? So
nice one.
Yeah, so to give an example, the protocol fee, the sort of the fee that is required to interact on the marketplace, for example, will be paid in Myria. Any NFT marketplace purchases, the option to pay with Myria will always be there. And then, as I already mentioned, the Myria nodes can be purchased with Myria. So beyond that, we'll have to see kind of where the additional utility falls in terms of release schedule, but definitely at the outset in our first release, there will be at least those utility functions.
Nice one, Brendan. And regarding the utility of the token, like one of our users was asking, and I think this is quite a good question. Will the games developed on Myria, will they have their own in-game currency, or will they use Myria as their in-game currency? So this is for games that will be developed on Myria, right? On the Myria platform.
Well, I mean, I can answer that. So the games on that are part of our Myria verse and developed by Myria Studios will be on the Myria token. But the games that are developed on our chain but not part of our interoperable universe will have their own token.
Nice one. Yeah, thanks a lot, Andre. Regarding the licenses for the nodes, will those ones like be transferable once the Myria wallet will be launched? I mean, we know that the vesting period is like for 5 years, and those licenses are not transferable for the 5 years or until the last node will be sold. But I was just wondering if you can move it from like one Myria wallet to another Myria wallet when that will be launched on the platform. Because obviously right now for us, like all the licenses are attached to our MetaMask addresses, but moving forward, this will be attached to the Myria wallet, correct?
Yes, that's correct. Right. So, so you're right that's the current thinking is that until the last node is sold, they won't be transferable. Whether there's a way for any number of reasons wallets change, you as a node owner to register a different wallet address, I think that's something we want to support to make it easy for users to manage their nodes. So I would expect that to be a possibility quite soon after the public sale starts. I don't think we have an exact time frame yet, but for sure it would be easy. We don't want to lock you into the same wallet kind of your entire ownership period. And then it is also worth saying that obviously part of what a transferable node license will be in the future is that they'll actually be NFTs on our L2 solution. So they won't, that should be a given, right? We're not going to create a new asset and then not NFTize it, but it's worth saying that they will be NFTs on our solution when that is the case.
Nice one, Brandon. And while we are at the node stage, somebody was asking for a bit of clarity on the rewards of the node, because I think while reading some documentation from Myria right now, it was saying that the minimum amount of time that you have to keep the nodes running is like 6 hours a day or a day or something like that, right? And basically, if you keep it up for longer and you keep on like piling up your Myria tokens, then your reputation score will get higher. But how will that work? What will that mechanic look like? What will that mechanics look like, right, for the people who will host these nodes?
Yeah,
Because
absolutely. So
obviously, like, sorry to interrupt, Brendan, but obviously people
oh,
want
no,
to
not at all, please.
maximize their profits with their nodes, right? And they know that 6 hours a day is a possibility, but if that will cut into their rewards like quite badly, obviously they will like want to run it like 24/7 and make sure they get as many rewards as possible.
Of course, yeah. So the answer as for uptime is no. You don't get sort of additional reputational points for having your node up beyond 6 hours.
Okay.
6 hours will be you get the check in the box in terms of your uptime requirement in that given day, and then the reputation will be based on other ecosystem involvement. And then how that scoring is determined will be something we work again, like most things, with the community on. But to give an example, if there's a ecosystem vote where it's required that the nodes say their opinion on a particular aspect that we're putting forward, then absolutely that would affect your reputational score. So the reputational score is something that we're working on, but examples like that would be a factor in it for sure.
Got it. Because I think one of the things that you could do to make your reputational score higher was to actually like play the game, which is like really good, right? So you get people to actually like get involved rather than just running the nodes if they want to maximize their rewards from the node that they are running.
Yeah, absolutely. Because we want the node owners to be leaders in the in this ecosystem, right? So if we know that they're both providing technical support and that their nodes are up and that they're doing the right things that we need to support technically our network, that's great. But then if we also know that they're voting and they're engaged and they're playing the game, then that's going to be instrumental for our growth.
Got it. Yeah, and I think a lot of the problems that people are having with blockchain games, I mean, like a lot of owners of like blockchain games that they're having right now, it's the lack of players, right? So I think that's one way to get people to actually start using the quality games that you'll put together, right, on the platform.
Yeah, definitely.
Nice one, Brendan. I'll just jump to the next question. Will there be like NFTs as part of the rewards that the node operators will get?
Yes. So the idea is that the node operators will be rewarded with Myria token first and foremost. 40% of all Myria tokens will be for the node rewards. That's how instrumental we know the node network is to be in our world. But then there will be cases where nodes are able to receive NFT rewards also. Definitely, that's the idea.
Nice one. I think this might be another one for you, Brendan. But can you share some light on the current development of the games that you are working on? What's the stage at what the development of the games is right now?
I think this one is actually more for Andrew on the game side, but
yeah, I'll jump on in and field that bad boy. So we've been actively developing games for about 8 months now, and we have 2 of them which are in alpha, and will be in closed beta in somewhere between 8 and 12 weeks. We are committed to quality, and so we will ship no wine before it's time, as it were. And we have 2 more which will be going alpha closer to the end of the year, which are larger, and so obviously those builds are a heavier lift, and so take longer. And I also want to mention that we have a very large number of partners who we're currently working with to onboard their content onto our chain. So in fact, you are going to start to see a very steady stream of games coming onto our solution. Yeah, no, I mean, we are so excited about some of the things that we've got going on. So I just can't wait to share them with everybody.
Nice one, Andrew. We are definitely excited to get to see some of those alpha footage. Hopefully, that will become available for the communities soon. Because, like I've said to you, I think everyone that is aware of Myria is like very excited about the project, right? I think it does have the people behind it to actually deliver on what it says that it will deliver, which is like really exciting.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Yeah, regarding the whitelisting that you are doing at the moment, like how many places do you have for whitelisting? And if somebody gets whitelisted, how many nodes or how many licenses can that person buy?
So the whitelisting will start a week before the public sale. That's our current thinking. So the whitelist hasn't begun, but I believe our current thinking is that there would be 4,000 slots on the whitelist.
Yeah.
I do not know, in fact, off the top of my head, whether that grants you one or more, but maybe Dave or Andrew does know the answer to that, or maybe it's something we can come back on.
Yeah, I think we're just ironing out the details. So we'll come back to you with more details very soon.
Got it. And regarding the sale of the nodes when they go public, have the team established what the price will be for one? Like some in the community was asking, but do we have something in place already, or you are still thinking or debating on what that price will be when the nodes will become publicly available?
Yeah, so that's definitely something that we'll still sort of finalizing, but we'll let you know very soon.
Got it. Someone else is asking regarding the founder toolbox. Will it only contain cosmetic items or playable NFTs with utility as well? Which I think is like a pretty good question.
Yeah, so in terms of the content, like I don't want to give you all of the details, to be honest.
Yeah.
Right now, if that's okay, we need to keep
Nah,
a couple of
that's
things up our sleeve for sort of sneak peeks. But again, we'll let you know very soon on these exact details.
no worries, Dave. And regarding the roadmap of the current games, is there an order in which those games will be released, and do we know what the order will be? Again, I don't know if you can share this info with us, but I'm trying.
Well, they so it so the 2 that we have coming up are basically neck and neck. So it's a lot of it will actually come down to which one we finish ironing out all of any of the remaining bugs and getting all the last minute content. So we actually have not between those we have not yet actually determined the release order. Although I think that we will probably stage them just so that we don't overload everybody at once. But so yeah, stay tuned is all I can say. After they come out, we can tell you what the order was.
Thanks a lot, Andrew. And regarding the white paper and tokenomics, do we have an update on when those things will be ready? Everybody is like very excited to get their hands on the white paper, obviously, and see how everything will work. And also for the tokenomics, I mean, we had a look at the current deck that you guys are having. But I'm just wondering if a more in-depth tokenomics is on its way, and if that will come with the white paper.
Whether or not they get released simultaneously is sort of TBC. All of this sort of the additional detail is prepared. As you'd be aware, these things need to go through a lot of legal review.
Definitely.
So that's currently where we're at. It's all been prepared and written. I don't know, maybe Brendan has something else to talk about the sort of the details of the tokenomics. But from a white paper perspective, yeah, it's very close. It's just in legal review, as you'd expect.
Nice.
Yeah,
One,
so
Dave.
I don't know. I will just add some words on the token economics, just because I don't know how much you've seen, and for people that haven't seen
Of
the
course.
deck, so importantly, the Myria token is non-inflationary, so there will be 50 billion Myria tokens, which get unlocked in a predetermined schedule over a 60-month period after token launch. And that's non-negotiable. That's the final amount, and we're not going to
Change
sort of just
it.
one day. Yes, we're launching more tokens. That's the max supply, and then obviously it's a ERC20 utility token, which will work both on Ethereum, obviously, but then bridge to other networks as well. But most importantly, it will work for a variety of activities in the L2 solution that we're launching.
Cheers, Brandon. Thanks a lot for sharing some light on that. We have another question from Gavin Thomas, which I think is a pretty good one. Right now, the gap between traditional gamers and blockchain gamers is still is huge, right? You can't really compare the two markets. How can Myria bridge this to attract more traditional players to try new blockchain-based games? What's the plan to expand adoption for blockchain games from the traditional gamers, basically?
Yeah, I think this is a great question. Maybe I'll go first, and maybe Andrew has some
Cheers,
more
Dave.
details on the sort of gaming specifics. But for me, this is I think everyone's just crying out for games that are fun to play, right?
Definitely.
And I think the gap between sort of traditional gaming and blockchain gaming, it really is two things. One, as you mentioned earlier, the quality of the games that people expect to play, and the other one really is understanding and awareness. And so, what our job to do is obviously very first and foremost present games that are fun, that have fantastic communities around them that people want to play, and that's really our sort of main priority, right? It's even our it's our mission really, to bring blockchain gaming to the world and sort of unite everyone through play. So for me, that's a kind of a marketing topic, right? How do we tell people that they're going to enjoy these games with their friends? And then obviously there's the exciting bit about playing and earning, which will encourage traditional gamers to move into the blockchain space as well.
Yeah, and I think I'd just like to add that one of the things that we here at Myria are committed to is making the process as smooth and frictionless as possible, because obviously, in terms of setting up wallets and understanding the whole blockchain space is a bit daunting for just casual and mid-level gamers, and even hardcore gamers for that matter. And so we are actively making steps to make our entire onboarding process extremely smooth, including a couple of different ways for different sort of tutorials and mechanisms by which people can slowly become accustomed to the space without being overwhelmed by it.
Cheers, Andrew. And yeah, I think Dave's point was like quite good as well. The blockchain community, what's lacking right now when it comes to play to earn games or like games development on blockchain in general. I think the quality is not there, right? I mean, I'm a gamer myself and I've been playing a lot of like AAA games and all that stuff, but when you are looking at what's being developed by most of the blockchain gaming companies right now, it's not very good, let's be honest, right? It's lacking. It's like, I don't know, 10 years backwards, right? I mean, it's like things that we were doing or like playing like 10, 15 years ago. And I think that's definitely not something that will attract gamers to move from like traditional games to like blockchain games. The games have to have the same quality to what is being developed for traditional games right now for the industry to pick up traction.
Yeah, so I think, I mean, it's a great point, right? And what you're really talking about is this sort of cross-category expectation. And, you know, I think it's important to recognize all of the great work that people have been doing in the blockchain space. But if you're talking specifically and, you know, sort of forging the way, but I think, if, you know, as per ambition of bringing different people from traditional gaming, as you know, as you stated in your question, the quality of the games needs to be there, and that's obviously we kind of touched on it earlier, right? About in our hiring process, that this is about bringing people in who know exactly what they're doing, working with the technology, and you know, we're really just at the very start of this, so a lot of exciting things to come.
Cheers, Dave. And regarding the games and the platforms that these games will be developed for, will Myria support mobile games as well as PC games and maybe like console games development like in the future? Like what's the plan on the platform? I mean the platforms that you will be supporting moving forward. Excuse me.
Sure, I'll take that one. So we have sort of several different for the Myria Studios games. We have a couple of different categories. We're going to be initially aiming for both mobile as well as WebGL because we want people to be able to jump in and have a very smooth, frictionless process to get into the games. We're also developing a set for PC, for native PC as well as mobile, and with, of course, full crossplay. In terms of consoles, we're leaving that TBD. Sometimes sort of securing those arrangements can be sticky, and so we have that on the radar, but it's not part of the primary. It's not part of the primary target as of yet.
Nice one. Thanks a lot, Brandon. I don't know why, for some reason, people who are part of the CMA, they can't raise their hands to join the call. I was going through the questions that we have on the chat for the EMA. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure what's happening because we could have invited a few people to actually join the stage and they could address their questions themselves rather than me reading the questions from the text channel that we are having. So apologies for this small technical issue that we are having, but we'll sort it out on the next one. But yeah, I think that pretty much covers all the questions that we were having from the community. I mean, if anyone has more questions, you can drop them on the text EMA that we are having. Okay, like somebody's dropping some questions now. Give me 2 seconds, Tim. Somebody is asking what's the most difficult challenge that Myria managed to solve and able to conquer? Which is like pretty pumpy, but it sounds pretty good. Yeah, what do you think it's the problem that Myria is trying to solve, and how will you be able to achieve that basically?
Yeah, I mean, I think I can speak to that quickly on the sort of developer tool suites side, which I've already talked about in some detail, but I'll say it again because I think that is definitely one of the bigger challenges that we're solving for, and we're solving for it in our own games first and foremost, but then obviously for other developers in the future. So the ability for somebody who's not a inexperienced developer, right? We want to be able to support everybody in the future, but experienced developers that don't have the requisite knowledge in blockchain, but are fabulous game developers shouldn't be precluded from deploying their blockchain solutions. So I think that's again something I've already spoken about, but
Yeah.
it's a challenge, and we've seen other projects struggle with it, and we think we're doing a quite a good job attacking it.
Cheers, Brandon. And regarding the partner games launching on Myria, what utility will Myria token play part in their ecosystem? Maybe this is another one for you, Brandon.
Yeah, I think that still needs to be worked out, but I think again it goes back to a couple of at least the examples I used, right? So, for example, the ecosystem games would still be connected, if not in the user interface, at very least in the back end to our marketplace that we're developing on the L2. So protocol fees, for example, would still be required to be paid in Myria token, and then presumably the ecosystem games are going to have, if not in their own game community, sort of they'll have a connection to the node landscape, and so the Myria token will be involved in that capacity as well.
Cheers, Brandon. And somebody does ask, I think I know the question to that question. I know the answer to that question already, but somebody does ask if you need to hold Myria token in order for you to be able to run a node.
Right. Yeah. The answer is no.
It's
Was
only
that
the
is that the answer?
license, right?
Was that the answer you're going to give? Then you got it right. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
The answer is no, but we are selling the nodes with Myria token, and Myria token obviously might be a factor for what votes you're allowed to engage in, as an example. So you're going to have some voting rights for being a node owner, but you might have additional rights if you have Myria token. And again, the reputation algorithm that we're working on hasn't been totally fleshed out yet. So it's possible that to the same point about your involvement in playing games is obviously a good indicator of your kind of commitment to the ecosystem. So it should play a part of your reputation. Whether or not you own Myria tokens could well be in that same vein.
Got it. And do we have a target date for when the nodes will become available for the public for the public to buy them, Brendan? Do we have a rough estimate when that will happen?
Yeah, currently we're thinking end of July, early August is sort of the rough time frame at the moment, but that is subject to market conditions and what we've released in terms of games and the MVP and the developer tools solution and the rest. But that's roughly where we're thinking.
Cheers, Brendan. And I think I have one last question. Sorry, I've been drilling you, Tim, with like a lot of questions, right? But because you have such an amazing project, right? People have loads of questions about it, right? But I'm just wondering. So obviously, with every great project, and we've seen this like many times before, there is a lot of FUDs around it as well. How do you plan to, like, I don't know, fight this kind of like stuff and people just, I don't know, making false claims about the project and all that stuff? Because obviously, like, people who are actually doing a lot of research and all that stuff, they know that they are not true, but I think it's very good for the community and people who maybe don't have that much time to like look into the project and all that stuff, to have reassurances from the team and that kind of stuff. So are you looking? You probably know the guy who posted that video on YouTube, right? We had a proper discussion with him as well. But yeah, it's. Do you have a plan on like how to fight this kind of stuff? Because like I've said to you, because you have such a good project, you will probably have a lot of fun as well. So it's just the nature of the game, I suppose.
Yeah. Look, I think it's it's an interesting topic, right? Look, I think, you know, with the great ambition that we have, there's going to be a lot of attention on what we're doing. To be honest with you, you know, the way that we want to deal with things like that is just to be very present, work with our community, do things like this where you get to meet people in the team. You know, we're not hiding behind you know, anything. And I think ultimately, you know, the proof of the pudding is in the eating, as they say, and the quality of our project and our games will speak for itself. There's always people that want to generate hype by you know, creating FUDs or misinformation. That's just the name of the game. But you know, I don't think we have a specific way of dealing with it. You know, we just want to keep on doing what we're doing, which is building great games for our community, and coming to events like this where you can meet us and ask us questions, and just being authentic and out there with what we're doing. So that's our plan, just to keep on being us and delivering great projects.
Keep on being awesome, basically, right?
I didn't say that, but yes.
Yeah, I think that's the right attitude to have. I think as long as the community has the right comms and the team is basically being transparent and just like talk to everyone and address everything. I mean, like not everything, but just answer to like the community's question. I think that's the most that you can do in this kind of like scenario, right? Like people like this will have always existed and they will always exist, right? So it's not much that you can do about it other than that. But yeah, I think
No,
that's
I agree. Yeah. I
definitely
agree, and you know, that's why we love doing things like this, and answering your questions. And to be honest with you, you know, we're very busy, and we don't want to get caught in the weeds with the haters. We're just going to keep on doing what we do, you know.
nice one. Well, I think that's about it with the questions that we were. I mean, like we probably have another like 200 questions, which we won't have time to address on this call. But I think we've addressed a lot of the important questions that the community. Obviously, we have our community here, but then we have people from the Myria's community as well who have joined the CMA, and I think we've answered. I mean, you've answered. The Myria team has answered most of the burning questions that the community was having. Like I've said to you, probably we need like 10 hours call to cover all the questions that everyone has, but it's only that much that you can do in 1 hour, right?
Yeah, so I mean, store up the questions. You know, keep an eye on what we're doing, and get new ones. And you know, of course, in due course, we'll be happy to come back, and as everything progresses with the Myriaverse, we'll come back and talk to you some more. So yeah, so keep the questions on file, or send them over to us. And we'll do our best to answer them. And of course, thanks for having us. And I think we're more than speaking for us here anyway. More than happy to come back and have another conversation in time.
That's great to hear, Dave. And yeah, we are in close contact with Myria team. We always like try to address questions ourselves that the community is having on our Telegram groups and so on and so forth. So yeah, thank you so much again for your time. I know you are like very busy, and I know it's 6 o'clock in the morning as well where you are. So I know this was an effort. We do appreciate it a lot, and yeah, we are looking forward to have you here next time, which hopefully won't be too long from now, right?
Definitely.
No, that's awesome. Thank you. So yeah.
Thanks a lot again, guys. I'll leave it to you, TM.
Great. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thanks. This is awesome.
Cheers all. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.